Students. Today we are going to begin with the textual explanation of P.B. Shelley's poem Ode to the West Wind. In the previous class, I have already told you that this ode was written in a forest near Florence on a windy day in the autumn season. The poem is an ode, and just like the other odes, it's an address to the west wind. Now let us begin with the text. O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being, thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven like ghosts from an enchanter fleeing. O wild west wind, the speaker in the very first line of this ode is addressing the west wind, and he calls it the wild west wind. Wild means the fierce, the ferocious, the savage west wind. Thou, the breath of autumn's being. And he describes the wind as the breath of autumn season. That means this west wind particularly blows in the autumn season. It's like the very breath of this season. Thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven, and from whose unseen presence of west wind. Unseen because nobody can see the wind. It can only be felt. So when the wind blows, the dead leaves are driven, are carried away, like ghosts from an enchanter fleeing. Enchanter means a magician, a wizard. So he is using a simile here, which implies the presence of the west wind carries away the dead leaves, as the presence of a magician makes ghosts or the evil spirits to run away. Fleeing means to run away. Yellow and black and pale and hectic red, pestilence-stricken multitudes. Now he gives us the color and appearance of these dead leaves. They are yellow and black and pale and hectic red. Hectic red means feverish red, as if red with fever. That is the kind of color of these leaves: black, pale and yellow and hectic red. Pestilence-stricken multitudes. And these leaves look like affected with some disease, pestilence-stricken, disease like plague, and in multitudes, and they are in great numbers. There is large quantity of the leaves. These dead leaves are multicolored, but not beautiful, but in large numbers. O thou who chariotest to their dark wintry bed, the winged seeds where they lie cold and low, each like a corpse within its grave. O thou who chariotest to their dark wintry bed, O wind who chariotest, who carries the seeds, the winged seeds to their dark wintry bed. The west wind, like a charioteer, carries the winged seeds to their dark wintry bed. So the west wind carries the seeds to their grave-like places, each like a corpse within its grave. Corpse means a dead body. So the seeds lie under the ground until thine azure sister of the spring shall blow her clarion over the dreaming earth. Seeds will remain under the ground for the entire winter season until the spring wind comes, shall blow her clarion over the dreaming earth. The seeds will be revived will be awakened from their sleep by blowing of the spring wind. Clarion means the trumpet, type of musical instrument. The spring wind will cause all the seeds under the ground to germinate and to grow and fill driving sweet birds like flocks to feed in air with living hues and odors plain and hill. And the spring wind blooms all the flower birds just as a driving sweet birds like flocks to feed in air, just as a shepherd drives flock भेड़ों का झुंड, just like a shepherd drives flock to feed in the open air. So they are like flock of sheep. They feed in the open air. He is comparing the flowering of birds to a flock of sheep with living hues and odors plain and hill. You know, in the spring season there is so much vegetation and flowering that the entire area of the earth, whether it is plain or the hill, comes alive with different colors, with living hues. Hues means coloring, and fragrance, odors, plain and hill. So the entire area of the earth comes alive with different colors and fragrance, and that's the beauty of the spring season. Wild spirit, which art moving everywhere, destroyer and preserver, hear, O hear. Wild spirit. The speaker again appeals to the wind, which is a wild spirit, an uncontrollable force of nature, which art moving everywhere. And the wind is everywhere. It is omnipresent. Destroyer and preserver. Destroyer because the wind destroys the old, it destroys the worn out, it brings the death of winter. But it is preserver. It is preserver also because it makes possible the regeneration of spring. So it brings life too. So the wind has the ability both to preserve and to destroy through all the seasons. Okay, this was the first stanza of this ode. We will continue in the next class. Thank you so much for today.